Welcome back in. Claire, I'll get back to you in a minute. We just got some breaking news, though, in just moments ago. Diana Shaw, she is the aunt of retired Sergeant Alex Drucke. She just sent me a note that Alex is now free. In fact, the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia was able to put Alex on the phone so that he could speak to his mother, Bunny Drucke, there in Tuscaloosa. She also said that the other veteran from Alabama, Andy Wynn from North Alabama, he is also free. So both free now from Russian captivity. As you know, they went to go help in the Ukraine fight in that war against Russia. They were both captured by Russian forces, have been held in captivity for several months. But now the aunt of Alex Drucke says that he is free. So Claire, as soon as we get more information, we'll bring it to you, but that is certainly great news. Welcome back in. New this morning, you're looking at smoke here from a fighter jet crash in Utah. Now, the pilot did successfully eject just moments before this crash, but obviously you can see there the smoke coming up in that scene there at Hill Air Force Base in Ogden. That is not far from Salt Lake City, Utah. It happened at the north end of the base's runway. The pilot was taken to a medical center to be checked out. The cause of the crash still being investigated. Meanwhile, this is an encouraging sign in the recovery process for Floridians after Hurricane Ian. That bridge connecting Fort Myers to Sanibel Island is back open. This is some drone video you're looking at here of that crucial stretch. Drivers were able to drive across that bridge once again Wednesday for the first time since Hurricane Ian hit. That is a crucial development in repairing infrastructure in Southwest Florida to open up the recovery and rebuilding process. The reopening obviously welcome news for many people there.
Yay! Look, very passable.
Yeah, we should point out this is a temporary restoration of that causeway, but it was completed way ahead of schedule. Was there not oversight into notifying some of these families that some of these inmates would be getting out, and that's why the number was reduced? We heard as much as 400. Now you're saying it's 97. But was that part of the reason?
Today there's 97.
I hate to interrupt here, but I looked at some charts, and I'm not going to understand them as well as you can, so I want you to put this in layman's terms. But when I looked at the tables for the LLPAs, here's what I saw. For instance, for example, a 750 score between 15 to 20% down paid a 0.25% fee. The new rule jumps that to 0.75% or higher. A 640 score would be 0.75 less expensive. So it seems as though the margins have narrowed. Can you explain that part?
Yeah. They have, they have narrowed, and there's no disputing that.
Yep. And there were two reviews before this latest review by the Biden administration. Administration officials, though, also said this has nothing to do with you blocking President Biden's military nominations in protest against the Pentagon's abortion policy. First of all, do you think that's true? And if not, would you be willing to bend on those nominations if it meant helping Huntsville getting the headquarters?
Well, that's not part of it. I've talked to the Department of Defense about all this.
But we lead off extra with some breaking news right now. The Houston County Sheriff is expected to announce new charges in the case of a pregnant teenager from Florida whose body was found in Dothan. One person is already charged with capital murder in the case. Let's go to Dothan Live now for that press conference.
Pertaining to, definitely keep you all up on it.
You just said we've got a lot.
You've been listening to Houston County Sheriff Donald Valenza out of the Dothan area where a young woman's body was found. She was now found to be pregnant, confirmed that. So the person now charged with capital murder has now had another capital murder charge because she was pregnant. So 2 counts of capital murder and no bond set.
Alabama.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Dubberly. It is Wednesday, so as Bon Jovi once said, we're halfway there to the weekend.
And we're living on a prayer.
A grand jury has issued an indictment to a man accused of shooting 2 Shelby County Sheriff's Office deputies. The district attorney says John Thomason shot 2 deputies inside a home back in March. You might recall that happened in the Meadowbrook subdivision. Both deputies were treated and released from a local hospital, but if convicted, Thomason faces 10 years to life in prison. He remains in the Shelby County Jail.
In our area.
And that's why right now Tuscaloosa County school leaders are trying to step up recruitment ahead of the fall school year. Kelvin Reynolds live now with more on those efforts. Good morning, Kelvin. This morning, an update on the search for a young man hailed as a hero for saving a woman from drowning at Orange Beach. Our sister station finally caught up with 19-year-old Jacob Ross. Last weekend, he jumped into the rough Gulf waters, the rip currents, to save a woman who was struggling to swim. Ross says he's been swimming since he was 4, and since he grew up around water, he knew exactly what he needed to do.
I've been always told to swim out and...
After Ross says he stayed with the woman until she caught her breath, and after about 25 minutes, she was able to get up and walk away safely. Vicki?
Her father, thanks to Netflix.
The girl's case was featured on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. So the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children says someone spotted Kayla Unbehaun in Asheville, North Carolina. And when she was 9 years old, she was allegedly taken by her mother, who didn't have parental rights.
It is.
Heather Unbehaun, Kayla's mom, was arrested and charged with her daughter's kidnapping. You know, we're talking about a lot of those scattered storms we've been having in our area, and look at these images a lot of you sent in to us this week. These are some clouds that are rolling in, very ominous there looking at the skies there.
And yeah,
New this morning, the trial that is expected to start next week for the suspect in that deadly shooting at Dothan's Peanut Festival parade. This after 19-year-old McKee Lawton waived a hearing yesterday, but entered a not guilty plea to charges of murder and assault. Investigators say Lawton got into an argument with someone and shots were fired during the Peanut Festival parade. One man died, another was injured. Lawton's attorney claims Lawton acted in self-defense.
this morning we're taking.
A road in Pell City is getting more than $100,000 in improvements to make it safer for drivers. The money is coming from the city and the Alabama Department of Transportation. There are more than 750 homes off Mays Bend Road, and an estimated 4,400 people use that road daily. City leaders say they've seen several accidents on the road where people have crashed into poles or another car. Here are some upgrades they believe will improve safety.
Wider shoulders.
That work will start this summer. It should take about a month to complete. You might recall a fire damaged a volunteer fire department last week. Find out how the city of Irondale is stepping up to help that department in West Alabama. How about a story about giving back? You might recall last week we showed you how a fire destroyed everything inside a volunteer fire department in Pickens County, but soon they'll be getting a new fire truck and equipment thanks to Irondale's fire department. Irondale Fire and Rescue has some surplus equipment, and instead of selling it, the city and its firefighters realized this is the perfect opportunity to help the Dancy Cochran Volunteer Fire Department.
It's just fantastic to be in a position financially.
Irondale's fire chief stressed how important those volunteer fire departments are to the smaller towns they serve.